right. Hey guys, how are you doing? Yes, absolutely. Love that I have a bit of history with Dylan and Monica. And gee, it's been a while. We were just talking in the back, Monica and I, how big our kids are. So once again, we're in the relationship business, aren't we guys? And I never imagined that I would be a real estate agent. Absolutely love how Tony, which let's give a hand to Tony again. Thank you. I absolutely love how Tony was able to just share, we go through life and you just never know where life is going to take you. I really actually came from the background of construction, helping my father-in-law and my husband build a ground up construction company doing residential, commercial, federal, and state construction. So I really got used to contracts doing that, and I really didn't realize how much that was going to help me later in my current profession, okay? I got really passionate about seeing people take nothing and build it into something, and that's something that I find now I really enjoy in my real estate career as well. And at one point, I actually started my own brick and mortar business. And I want to share a little bit about this just so you kind of get a sense of why I'm so passionate about empowering people to live and give their legacy. And it really started, I think, to hit home for me when I started my own state licensed care home company. Anyone in here know what that is? Raise your hand. A few of you, wow, you've had family members or close friends that have needed care. I had a hospice level care home in Salt Lake, Moanalua on Oahu, right near Tripler Army Medical Center. And I got to take care of our kupuna, which are our greatest gems here in Hawaii. Who here agrees with me on that, right? I also got to take care of our veterans. We were very close to Tripler, as I mentioned. And who here knows that we owe them our lives? Let's give them a round of applause. And so throughout the years of having my brick and mortar company, I had a staff of 32 nurses, and I learned a great deal about communication, lots of communication. I also learned a lot about team, and that I couldn't do that without building systems that would help my team, my staff, to be able to provide excellence in caregiving. And I really, most of all, learned a lot about what is important in life. What is important in life? You'll learn that when you sit with somebody who's 101 years old. You will learn that when you sit with a World War II veteran and they share their life experiences. You'll learn that when you sit with Granny and she's in her 80s and she wishes that she took more vacations with her husband when they were both healthy and he was alive. And it really changed me and prepared me when I became a licensed real estate agent. I just thought that I was getting my license so that I could go find more care homes for my business that was flourishing. And I really didn't see what was up ahead. And a series of things happened and I had to close down my brick and mortar business, with every intention to open up 2 other locations that I was developing. But in the interim, since I had received that awesome certificate, right? Like I passed, I have my license, I thought to myself, before I'm done with the licensing process, which is long for these other 2 locations and my day center, why don't I give real estate a chance? And I fell in love. I fell in love with having a different vehicle to still help people to live and give their legacy. And so as I prepared to come here today, I thought to myself, I wanted you guys to understand why is everything built around this word legacy. And so that's my makana, my gift to you guys today. And I hope it could bless you and encourage you that whatever you're doing, whether you're just getting your real estate license, whether you've been doing it for 23 years, 50, well, yeah, we stopped at 23 in this room, but you know what I mean? And, everything that you do, you're impacting a life. Whether it's a first-time home buyer, whether it's an avid investor, whether it's a seller, whether it's, a mom that is saving every penny so she has something to leave her kids. You're impacting generations ahead of that transaction because it's always about people, right? And so thank you guys for having me here today. I wanted to be able to really talk about something that I've grown a great deal in my career. I got licensed 5 years ago, if you're wondering, and I have really kind of gotten a lot of questions from people. How do you do what you do? You haven't been licensed for that long. I love your marketing. And, I always try to just encourage people, like, find what works for you. And I love that Dylan said, today is not about getting overwhelmed or trying to do something somebody else's way if it doesn't feel right to you. And when I got into real estate, honestly, I really kind of like decided to myself that I was gonna do what I felt that God was calling me to do. And that I wanted to be authentic to really the brand, but bigger than that, the mission that I really felt that I was supposed to live. And that's why I think my marketing reflects that. It's very niche and it's not cookie cutter at all. And there's lots of things though that you can use on our marketing suite at EXP where you can pop your beautiful photos in and call it a day. And it's like one and done, like boom, bada bang, it's done, you got a flyer. But for me, I just really felt like I really wanted to build something from scratch. And who here agrees that McDonald's tastes way different than like grandma's curry? Raise your hand. So I kind of went the curry route, okay? And I love curry, by the way. So with that being said, today we're going to talk about understanding listing with marketing lifestyle in Hawaii. Because we live in the most beautiful place in all of the world, right? We're so not biased. And so you can go ahead and see the slide. I think I shared a little about me already, so we can skip past that. But I want you guys to take down just these 8 main points that I'm going to kind of speak with you about today, because if you're already an avid listing agent, which my sponsoring agent is in this room and I want to honor her, and she's a total boss babe and I love her, and if you know her you already love her too, but if you don't know her, please introduce yourself to her. Shireen, thank you. Her and John, they worked with me when I first came over. I was 6 months into being a real estate agent on a different team at K-word real estate company. And I was very new, and I remember when I decided I was going to leave where I was at, it was the day that my team leader told me I wasn't ever going to be a listing agent for a very long time because I was new. So we're done. And I said toodles, caboodles, and I decided that wasn't the place for me. I'm glad I started where I did, but I think I'm just going to go with my gut that this should be shared in this realm, is that even if you're new, or even if you've been doing this for a long time, it is never too late to believe in your dream. It is never too late to believe that you can do something even better than you've already done it before. And I believe you should always give yourself the ability to stretch and to grow. And I really feel blessed that God put people in my path, Shireen, John, even Chris, who you'll get to hear from later, and he's a total rock star too. I never felt when I was in a room, even as a 6-month in real estate agent, when I came to EXP, that anybody made me feel like I was dreaming too big, that I was believing for too much, or that I wouldn't accomplish what I said I was gonna do. I believe that this company has given me really the inspiration to live a very abundant life. And I think that's important to share. And when we go into the rest of this is about you finding what works for you. And I'm very key on listings. It's something that majority of my business is actually built on. And I really get the pleasure of being a team leader. I work with buyers, but I have also a lot of agents who work with sellers and also work with buyers. I have a team member here who just joined, and she's a Hilo girl. Everybody say welcome, Savanica. So yeah, we're gonna get through this. Let's start with sharing over selling, okay? Because selling is what we're doing, it's the action, but it's really the sharing that's gonna tie into the emotion of what we're doing. And if you can tie into the emotion of what we're doing as real estate agents, I think that you'll have more lasting impact. At least that's what I'm finding out in my business, okay? So I want you to ask yourself, what is truly special about Hawaii, since we're all focusing on Hawaii real estate today? The specific community that you're selling in, what's special about it? Start writing down some notes, because maybe some of you have a listing right now. Maybe you need to revamp the marketing, or maybe some of you are hoping to take a listing in a community. Start writing down what's special about that community, or even what's special about the exact property that you're listing, okay? So first of all, when we're sharing over selling here in Hawaii, of course, the first thing that comes to my mind that people want us to share in our marketing is our scenic views. Hello, who here watches Selling Sunset? I see you, boo. Okay. We want to see the gorgeous views. We want to see the beaches. We want to see the hiking trails. We want to see the sunset. Why? Because when people think of Hawaii, when they dream of retiring here, or when they dream of being able to raise their children here, they're dreaming of that sunset. They're dreaming of that beach. So you need to share that with them through your marketing. I will tell you, I see a lot of listings, and all I really see is like the home, but it's so much bigger than just the home, right? It's the entire community. It's the side of the island. It's our state. Please keep that in mind when you're sharing Hawaii with someone. Number 2, the people. Now, we can't show faces on our MLS version of video, but if you can put the budget, which, guys, we see our paychecks at the end. You have the budget. If you can just change your mindset and have more of an abundant mindset, spend the extra money and do a second video, and let that video be your Selling Sunset version, okay? And you'll have the MLS compliant, but your videographer can work with you and make you a second variation. My second variation videos, and I hope the link will work, Dylan, at the end so I can share one. It's at the last slide. But my second variation videos have people, and we'll get into the planning of how to pull off a video like this. I hope this will be helpful to you. In fact, I know it will. Some of you are like nodding your head like, yes, girl, slay girl, I'm here for this. Okay, good. So when I think of people in Hawaii, I want to highlight surfing if I'm near the beach, which, by the way, like, what listing on an island isn't near the beach? Kind of all of our listings are near the beach, right? Shopping, because we're kind of showing like the vibe that we have, you know, a little bit of everything, and even tourism. Now, you might say like, Tiare, you're a Kama'aina, you're a local girl. What you talking about? We're sharing tourism. Yes, we are sharing about tourism. Why? Because people in other parts of the world, they want to know that they can be able to do business here, that there's a thriving economy here, that there's people who are going to come here and are going to patron them, and that they can be able to create income to afford our lifestyle here, okay? So yes, you also want to show the infrastructure of that, okay? Number 3, food. Why food? Well, because we're talking about sharing, not selling today. And if there's anything I love to share, it's food, okay? And when you film and when you showcase food, it actually appeals to the emotion. It's actually a psychologically proven statistic. And what happens is people build a familiarity with that moment. They automatically feel connected to what's happening inside of the video. Now, do you hear that I'm not even talking about 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, you know, extended lanai? I'm like not even focusing about any of that, right? We all get that. We all know that. That's all going to be in the MLS. What I'm talking about is the moment that you are creating with somebody to attract them to that listing, to that property, and make it so irresistible that they have to have it, okay? The 4th one, culture. If there are festivities that are specific to that community, you can highlight those in the videos that are the more extended version. Gatherings, also hula, lei, even surfing. Highlighting these things tie culturally into Hawaii, and it's very niche. The riches are in the niches, So it's important to, once again, understand the place that you represent. You guys are all agents here, but I actually believe that we are ambassadors of Aloha. It's our job to be able to show people around the world what is specific about our beautiful state, okay? Number 5, yes, I can count, is community. In community, I want you to ask yourself, what are some niche businesses that exist in your community? I have a listing launching today in Kailua. It's a beautiful beach town in Oahu. So if you have somebody looking for a 3-2 under $1.5 million, I will have a listing for you today. With that being said, what are the niche businesses in the community of Kailua? Are there cafes? Are there taco shops? Are there little boutiques that people would want to see? Can I work with my videographer and lay out a video plan that I can incorporate these more lifestyle heavy things, okay? Developments. This is like more or less like newer construction. If I'm selling in Eva Beach, I want to highlight Ho'opili. I want to highlight that there's a college. I want to highlight that there's, commercial real estate in that area in Kapolei through Eva. And it's really about understanding what is specific to that community that doesn't exist anywhere else. Because see, I don't have the same type of development in Kailua on the windward side of Oahu than I do on the west side of Oahu. So it's going to look very different when I market those sides of the island. And it's the same thing for here on Big Island or Kauai or Maui. So understand your community well and put a plan together to execute. And then unique charm. That really, to me, when I think of like unique charm, and I'll just focus on maybe like Hilo, if that's okay for now, because I'm like, it's such a vibe. But like the unique charm of that town. The ma and pa places, like the fun little off the hole spots. You sometimes can lose focus of really what's important to people when they're buying in Hawaii, and sometimes it's going to look different based on the community. When somebody's buying in Hilo, they're not looking for busy hustle and bustle, or they would be buying on Oahu. So they're going to be attracted to the more ma and pa type of boutiques and shops and cafes, so please understand how you're going to represent and create that moment for your buyers, okay? Number 6 is real estate. Once again, focusing on specific neighborhoods. If you're focusing on a commercial heavy neighborhood, I think that you need to market it and show that there's commercial infrastructure there. If you're in town versus country, what you're going to highlight is going to look much different in town than it is in country. And we're going to watch a video at the end that is very country. So you'll see that we focus on the nature and the elements. When you're showing town, you're usually attracting a buyer that is either working centrifugal to that area or just likes the pace, and they're a total townie anyway. So they want to see the hustle bustle. They want to see the busy. So you show them that the lights are on all night. You do the twilight. You show the nightlife. You show the eateries that are open. But when you're marketing country, it's so different. They want a different type of feeling. And that brings me to lifestyle. And this one is very important because you'll understand what you're sharing / selling. And if it's luxury, okay, if you have a luxury listing, you're going to want to make sure that you highlight the lifestyle that people who buy in luxury are living, okay? So you're gonna wanna understand that that's gonna look a lot different than maybe your $750,000 home that you're selling, okay? So just understand the market for what it is that you're sharing. If you want to create also a type of vibe, then understand that even a relaxed vibe is a vibe. So maybe you might film, somebody in a more executive type of a fit for your luxury, depending on the location, and maybe you're filming a more relaxed fit in a different area. Now, luxury can also be marketed as relaxed, especially when you're looking at more of like your ocean fronts on the beach sides. Then you want to film people not in like shoes and a suit. You want to film them in slippers, a kind of nice maybe Tori Richards shirt. I can go on and on the fashion side, but we'll save that for another presentation. The last one here is capturing Aloha and telling a story of Aloha, okay? Why do we want to share that? Because it is not found anywhere else like it is found in Hawaii, okay? And it's a feeling, and it's an emotion, and it's an experience. And if you've ever talked with somebody that visited here 25 years ago on their wedding anniversary. And they're now in their retirement age, and it's always been their one bucket list goal to buy a second property in Hawaii and live. I see all of you nodding because you're like, yes, girl, it's a thing, it's a dream, it's a legacy season for some people. They experienced Aloha 25 years ago, they never forgot it. Okay, so we have to share that, and we need to capture that. Show the hospitality, show people interacting, feeding each other, gifting each other with something, things that you have also experienced here in Hawaii and why you know it's so unique, because when you go somewhere else, you don't get that same feeling or that same, experience, right? Show that genuine affection, show that welcomeness. People will feel it when they see your marketing and they will want more. You can go to the next slide. This is something that I share when people contact me or reach out to me to mentor them about how I'm marketing. And they'll say, oh my gosh, your marketing feels so different. Like, how do you do this? Well, this is not a quote that I Googled. This is like actually something that I truly feel, is that marketing is storytelling in a way that inspires people to see themselves as the main characters. I really feel that. Because we're literally inspiring people to picture themselves inside of this moment. We're literally inspiring them to say that this can be your life. You can live and give this legacy. This can be you, right? So take that with you today and apply that into your marketing, okay? Next slide. So I'm going to give you 10 steps today. And thank you, Dylan, for being so akamai, so smart, and gifting us this notepad. You guys have done an excellent job. I just want to honor you again. Can we give him and his team a round of applause? Seriously, we have all this amazing sponsored stuff. So thank you to the sponsors. We've got chocolate and snacks. Okay, thank you again. All right. So 10 steps to creating your marketing, all right? So this is all about creating a plan for your listings. You can screenshot it, whatever you want to do. Number 1, you have to define your focus. So all of those 8 things, you might have a combination of some of those, but you might not have every single thing on there, the whole list, okay? So you have to, when you're creating a plan, define what your focus is. This is gonna take you really understanding where you are listing and what's specific about that home, that property, that community, okay? Number 2, write out your plan. There is power in writing it down. I actually am at a different conference right now at the Hilton Waikoloa, and Pastor Jensen Franklin just spoke about this yesterday. There is so much power in our pen. Writing things down, it literally brings them to life, okay? So write your plan down, write it all out. And once you write your plan down about how you want to market this property, how you want to share it, what's special about it, then you know how to prepare your listing. See, a lot of people, they get the listing, it gets signed, and then they just what? Call a stager, call the photographer, bada boom, bada bang, you got a flyer, right? What I'm talking about today is just totally different, guys. It's just it's totally different, okay? When you write out a plan, every property that I list, I write out a marketing plan for. Okay? And I literally take the time to decide, well, what type of colors are going to work in this property? And what type of things do I want in the kitchen or in the bathroom? I absolutely think that if you can really create something that's, it's going to get more duplicatable as you do it. Some people are like, hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it. What I'm doing, it's working. There's no inventory. Well, guess what? We're one world shift away from that not being the case. Because at some point here, something can change in our economy and there can be more than enough listings on the market. And so I think we have to, as professionals and as concerned community contributors, plan with excellence and longevity in mind. Plan to be the best and live your best and give your best, because someday that really will matter. And it really will pay off to put food on your table because you went the extra mile. So I understand that maybe some people are like, why do we need to do this? It all sells. Yeah, I know. But what about the 10 other sellers that are going to see your marketing and they're going to know they absolutely have to have you as their listing agent? That's what we're talking about, right? So preparing your listing and using number 4, specific staging items. I own my own staging company internally. I know some others of you do as well. But if you don't, meet with your provider. Take them to coffee or take them to lunch and share with them that you really want to grow in your impact specifically to sharing Hawaii, and that there's certain things that you want to start to incorporate. I incorporate local sourced items in my staging repertoire all the time. And I love sourcing local if I can, but it's because, once again, I'm sharing Hawaii. So I'll have things strategically placed all throughout my listing that are like local grown and owned business curated items. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm all about the Tiare, okay? But like for real, like, you know, I'm a TJ Maxxinista and a Ross boss for sure. But when we really get niche and we really think about investing into items that we're going to be able to use in creative ways for the long haul, it's okay to pay more for value because you're going to be able to pop it in a whole nother look for 10, 15, 20 more listings down the road, okay? Number 5, if you are going to go this route, which we're going to experience it soon here, where you're going to see a video, decide on casting if you're going to have live models inside of your extended version video, okay? Some people, it can get very pricey to cast because models are pretty people that make good money, and that's a profession, so they deserve to make that money. I have been fortunate to just build relationships with people that believe in what I'm doing. And when I contact them and I say, hey, I'm building my marketing plan for this community and I want to tell a story about it and this is what I'm doing, and I basically I sell them on the sunset first before I sell anyone else. So that's like the warm up. Okay, babe, that's bonus. And so I pitch the cast and I let them know, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you want to be a part of it? They get super excited. They connect with it. And then you'll see the results when the video comes up, okay? Time of day. I plan time of day. That's also a communication item with your videographer. So you're gonna tell them if you wanna do like sunset vibes, what would be a good time to start, when should the people show up, and then you actually like plan out your whole plot. So like you tell I actually write this all out and I say, okay, I wanna highlight the beach down the road, that's a 4-minute drive. I wanna highlight the golf course community. I wanna highlight the security gate that's out at front because they pay a really low HOA, but luxury love gated communities, and this is luxury, so yada yada. And I want to highlight the mountain ridges because it's absolutely gorgeous at night when the sunset starts coming down. So like those are like 4 things that I make sure before my videographer shows up, he's going to capture. Okay, and you're paying good money when you're doing something like this, guys. Okay, I just don't do cheap marketing. Like, you're paying good money for it, so treat it like it's valuable. Like, I'm not gonna treat my Ross bag like my Louis Vuitton bag. Okay, for the guys, I don't have an analogy, I'm sorry. But like, I was trying so hard just now. It's like work boots, like versus cowboy boots that are expensive. Okay, you know what I mean? You just like, you can throw your Ross bag down and you don't give a rip, right? But like, you're not throwing your Louis Vuitton bag down on a puddle, okay? It's the same thing. If I'm gonna pay top dollar for this marketing, for this luxury listing, like I'm going to tell my videographer what I want and how I want to execute it, right? And so please give them bullet points. They'll appreciate the communication. Typically if you're working with professionals that want you to be happy, they're your people. I actually don't work with people that aren't happy to work with me. Wow, what a concept. But like for real, when you're newer too, like that's one thing you want to keep in mind as well. Work with people that make you feel like you come alive. Work with people that believe in your vision, and they will be your people and they will grow with you from the ground up. And it's the best experience ever to grow with people from the ground up. You know that song, Drake, started from the bottom, now we're here. It's like that. It's like a vibe, okay? With that being said, once you plan out your plot, number 8, you can finally execute your vision. Holy crap, Tiare, we just did like 7 steps before we're actually like doing something. Well, hello, didn't you guys just learn from Misty's icebreaker? You gotta read down the paper and then execute, right? It's the same thing. When she did that, where's Misty? That was awesome, by the way. Hey, girl. But same thing, right? Have the plan written out, then execute. Because you're going to save so much effort. You're going to save so much time. You're going to save so much money, even if you just take the time to plan first, then go, then do. Okay? So thank you, Misty. That was an anointed icebreaker. Mahalo. Number 9, developing your marketing plan. Who do you want to see this? How are you gonna target demographic, the people that you want to see this? Where is the money coming into in that community? And this starts to get very, very, very niche, okay? And number 10, some people have no idea what this is, so I'm gonna tell you, is sharing partner. Do you know I actually partner with people to share my listings? I partner with people to share my listings because I tie them into my listings. So it's something that I actually develop personally with real estate agents. I've now began coaching and mentoring in regards to marketing and all things living your legacy. And this is something that will take you even higher to the next level, okay? There is so much power when you are able to really come together with like-minded people and share things together, okay? You can go to the next slide. I wanted to play, who wants to see one of these videos? Yeah? Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of context. Nope. So this, okay, one second. Okay, so this community was kind of parked at the 1.3, 1.4 mark. Gated community in the west side of Oahu. It really honestly needed its story to be told. And the first listing that I had in this community was for 1.95 mil. And everyone in that community said I was crazy and it was never gonna sell. And then it got sold one day on market. And then it was kind of fireworks after that. But it was literally a YouTube sensation that bought it one day on market because he saw the marketing video with the models for that one, okay? I sold another one up the road after that, which you can kind of see right here. I'm building my family legacy property right here. We got 1.5 acres of land there that we're developing right now. And then this listing was just such a vibe and it was super fun. And it was the same thing. You know, I've kind of always been told that's not gonna work for that community. Nobody pays luxury at that level for that community. And now there's other listing agents who have successfully sold for even higher than even I have in this community. And I'm the one that went to lunch with them and told them yeah, babe, do it, crush it. You got the listing sign, rock this. And I made suggestions, they applied it, and even they were able to close even more higher than even I did. So I'm gonna share the story with you of Mauna Olu Estates, one of West Oahu's hidden gems in Makaha Valley.
rights and picking the songs? How did you get that?
So there's actually websites that will give you royalty-free music, and I actually find a song that reminds me of the day because I am present at filming days. I'm not present for every single film that I do. There's some properties where we're just gonna get on the market in 3 days, and there isn't this, right? But this is a luxury property. This is an acre of land. This is a community that the story really needed to be told. And now it's much easier and faster to sell the homes in there because one, the comps have been set. You're welcome. But on top of that, right, the story, people actually understand Mauna Olu now. See, Mauna Olu was capped at 1.4 million, 1.95, 2.3, 2.5, now threes, right? And then a Korean firm just bought the 2 golf courses in Makaha Valley, and now who even knows what other records we're gonna crash and pummel throughout there. So I'm done, I guess. And I hope that you learned something today, and get out there and share Hawaii. Aloha.